what are your thoughts on the chances, if we stay healthy, that we can go undefeated this season? I say 92% with approximately 3 shutouts. Okay, my thoughts would be that Oklahoma probably, to me, has the best chance of any team in the country. Clemson, Oklahoma. It's very close. Basically, they have the best odds of winning their conference. I think it's a pretty good debate between Oklahoma and Clemson. But 92% to go undefeated, I don't know that they're at 92% to win the conference. That's extremely high against the field, and considering how good Iowa State is and that things can happen. And of course, once they do win the conference championship this year, you can always look back and say, well, of course, 92% was at least, it might have been too low. But realistically thinking, with all the factors involved, 92% to go undefeated, wow, I think that's high. I'm going to go more in the range of high 80s, 86, 87% to win the conference, and something in the range of 65. I don't even know that high. 50-50 maybe to go undefeated.
So I would probably go maybe a little higher on the undefeated side. I mean, I think, if you, for Oklahoma to have the year that they want to have, they need to go undefeated. And when you look at it, I think it's interesting to think about it, Mark, from that side. Oklahoma is going to be a double-digit favorite in every game, maybe except Texas, kind of depending on what that looks like. So, yes, if you're going by past history, yeah, I mean, I think you're right on with your 50-50 stuff, because and I don't have this right in front of me. I'm trying to remember the last year that Oklahoma actually went undefeated in the regular season. Gosh, I mean, it's been a while. It may be early 2000s, maybe 2004.
Probably
might have been the last time that they went undefeated, because I'm trying to remember the 2009 team they lost to. 2009 team lost to a regular season game against Texas. So when you think about that, it's been a long time. Nearly 20 years, which is kind of surprising in itself that Oklahoma's, finished the regular season undefeated, if that's exactly what it was. But I would probably put Oklahoma more in a 65 to 70% range of going undefeated, a little higher, than you, Mark. Really, just because when you think about it, a lot of their tougher games are going to be at home. You look at, they have TCU at home, they have West Virginia at home. They have obviously Texas in the neutral spot. Nebraska is in Norman. You have Iowa State in Norman as well. So a lot of those tougher games are in Norman or neutral site. The toughest away games that Oklahoma has this year undoubtedly is Oklahoma State. To end of the year is probably their toughest on paper. So I don't know. I think the last topic that we have bleeds really well into this topic, and being as smart as you are, Mark, I'm sure you did that on purpose. So just in terms of understanding Oklahoma putting their foot on the gas pedal, I think that how they're able to do that maybe equates to if they're able to go undefeated this year. I will say this, just among the fan base, I think if Oklahoma loses a regular season game, it'll be a disappointment. And now if they happen to still make the playoffs and win a playoff game or the national championship with one loss, certainly that disappointment will go away very, very quickly. However, I think because you think it's got to be a team. If Oklahoma loses to a team other than like Texas or Iowa State, I think that will be a very disappointing area. But it's happened each and every year. So wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities.
I'm not a huge believer in the FPI, but the Football Power Index has Oklahoma going 11.4 and 1.5, 11 and a half wins, 1.5 losses. So I find it interesting that they projected into the conference championship game. So basically, that what that's saying is, as I've looked at other ones to basically figure this out without it being listed, I'm sure it's explained somewhere, but basically they have Oklahoma winning the conference most of the time. So that win-loss is going to take you through the conference championship game, but they don't have Oklahoma in every scenario winning the conference. Therefore, it's not going to even out to a perfect 13, but it's going to be close.
Yeah.
So they're at 1.5 losses. Chance of winning out, the FPI is only at 17.7%.
Oh, for Oklahoma to go undefeated throughout
Yes.
That's interesting. I mean, because when you think of the schedule, let's look at Oklahoma versus maybe an Ohio State, a Clemson, a Georgia, and the Alabamas. I think when you
Well, that's only winning through the conference championship game. That doesn't include the playoffs. I don't think that only deals with the games that they know that are going to be played.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
they can't project a game that they don't know is going to happen.
Yeah. Well, and I was really from that perspective, Mark, was just projecting Oklahoma in their regular season versus these other schools in their regular season as well. Oklahoma, I think I would say they very easily have the easiest schedule when you think of Ohio State, just overall, including the non-conference as well. Ohio State has Oregon, who's a better team than, even though it's at home, obviously, is a better team than anybody on Oklahoma's schedule, save Iowa State, probably, right? Then you look at Georgia and Clemson, obviously, each playing each other is a much better team than anyone else. Will face, or Oklahoma will face. Alabama, even with the SEC schedule that they have, not counting that, even talking about Miami, on paper, Miami's probably maybe the second, third best team in the Big 12. If you were to put them in the Big 12, probably third, maybe fourth, I guess I should say. Certainly behind Iowa State, I think coming in. So I think that, like I said, that'll be interesting. I think part of that probably has to do, I would say, it has to do with Oklahoma's history on they've just continuously lost to teams that they're much better than. So I think I think that that's part of that goes into that, and thinking about who Oklahoma might lose to in that 17% probability.
Just doing some quick lists here. Alabama plays Texas A&M. They're number 6 in the preseason coaches poll. Florida's 11. LSU's 13. Miami's 16. And Ole Miss is 25. Did I miss anyone? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
The SEC had 7 ranked teams. No, 6 ranked teams. So that would be Alabama, LSU, Texas A&M, Florida, Georgia, Ole Miss. Okay.
That's right.
Ohio State plays Oregon, who's 12. Indiana's 17. Penn State is 20. And they do not face the other. They would face a possible Wisconsin, Iowa. They're right now 15 and 18 in the country. And for Oklahoma, it's Iowa State at, I believe, 8 preseason. Texas is 19. And that would be it. TCU, I got to think, was close to the top 25. I didn't see the teams with other votes, but I would think that they would have factored in there closely.
Yeah, I think I saw that they were like they would have, if you extended out, they would have been either 26th or 27th. So yeah, I think they're close.
And the FPI only gives Oklahoma a 68% chance of winning the conference. It's usually pretty conservative, the FPI, in terms of trying to forecast a conference championship or a undefeated season. So there you have it.
it's really interesting to look at that stuff so early on, because teams evolve, and there's potential pitfall games that you maybe didn't project or prognosticate at this point in the year. But yeah, I mean, I would say of those, we talked about that, even of those games. I mean, I think TCU, Oklahoma's outside of the Iowa State there. TCU and Oklahoma State are probably the two games that I would give as the area. If Oklahoma did slip up, those would be the ones that I would think that might happen. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to go undefeated. I mean, not many teams do it. So
yeah, we had 3, not last season, but the last full season in 2019 with LSU, Ohio State, and Clemson, and that was kind of an aberration. It seems like there's usually like one